Let's look at the upper arm. This is a drawing by Pierre-Paul Prud'hon. And by the upper arm, I mean basically from shoulder to elbow. Here's a quick upper arm and lower arm study. And when we talk about the arm, the bones we're talking about are the humerus primarily. That's your upper arm bone. And also a little bit your scapula, because your biceps originate there. So those are the bones we'll be talking about, and let's talk about the muscles on them. So we'll look at your biceps first, and your biceps has two heads, long and short. Both of those originate on your scapula, and they insert. You see that little eye there is on your radius. So it actually doesn't originate or insert to your humerus, which is actually really important. And that little top view, that's the scapula, to show you more specifically where your biceps short and biceps long originate from. So if we pan down a little bit, we can look at a side view and an inside view with the biceps short. Useful stuff. We could see it by itself here in the context of other muscles, and a photo showing surface form. So it goes from scapula to radius. It's really important, and of course it helps you flex your arm. In counterpoint to your biceps are your triceps. So these are two of your triceps, your medial and lateral, and you also have a long head. So the medial and lateral ones go from your humerus to your ulna, or your elbow bone. Your long tricep goes from your scapula to your ulna, or your elbow bone. And actually these act kind of like your quadriceps on your leg, if you think about it. And your elbow bone would be like the knee. So the triceps are a little bit like the quadriceps of your arm. And you do have a bicep on your leg, which is your biceps femoris, or the bicep of your femur. So just to stay with the triceps for now. The long head goes from scapula to your ulna, and the lateral and medial head go from your humerus to your ulna, and they help you straighten your arm out. So if we go to draw the triceps over the skeletal structure, I made a little room there, erased the lats to give you the lateral, medial, and long heads, which all again originate on the back of your ulna, where that little red dot I put was. So let's go to the front of the arm, put the biceps in. A little bit of triceps are going to show behind it, and your brachialis goes right underneath your bicep a little bit there. Now when we're looking at curves, the curves of the arm from the front are a little higher on the outside for a right arm facing the front, and a little lower on the inside. So you don't want to make these curves too symmetrical. And here is a page from the Richer book showing an arm in different rotations and the muscular structure underneath. This is a super useful book, and you'll notice these curves aren't symmetrical on both sides of the body, so be careful not to make parentheses on the body. So if we look at a Michelangelo drawing, that red line I put on there is just to show you he's putting the bicep coming to a curve a little closer to the elbow, and the tricep coming to a peak of a curve a little closer to the shoulder. So he doesn't ever make these curves symmetrical. And this is a great drawing to look at for a lot of reasons, but also these starts around to the left and right really are valuable to see, because you can see he was starting very lightly. He didn't dig in with these lines, even though he could carve this out of marble. So if he had to start light like this, then we all do. And we can also see in this drawing where Michelangelo put what looks like pins on the outer sides of the clavicles. Let's look back at that Pierre-Paul Prud'hon that we started with for a minute, and you can see the upper arm. He really understood the bicep coming out from underneath the deltoid and going right to the radius on both sides. It's a really beautifully articulated drawing that's black and white on blue paper. I hope these tips help you understand the upper arm, and that will in turn help you draw it.